Are
Alright.
are we live?
Yeah.
We are live.
We are indeed live.
Yes, watch the screen for our benefit.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone throw up your diesel shot.
Gorgeous, gaseous gorge. You know, there is a cat that I follow on Facebook.com. There's a cat that I follow on Facebook.com.
Hold on, wait.
That
Am I catching Ellie twice?
There is a cat that I follow on Facebook.com.
Oh yeah, there's definitely an echo.
Oh shit! I didn't even notice. Fuck. Facebook.com.
Oh, hold on, wait. Are you playing
I'm
the
saying
Twitch?
things so many times.
Mute
Yeah.
the Twitch. Mute the Twitch. Mute
Everything's
the Twitch.
repeating.
Yeah, mute it from the
Oh
tab.
shit! I didn't even notice. Fuck.
Oh, hold on, wait. Are you
I'm
playing
saying
Twitch?
things so many times.
All right. So your Twitch tab is
How did
muted
that
now,
even
right?
happen?
It was picking up your audio.
How?
Magic.
That happened with Discord before too, where I would join a Discord call and it would like push whatever I was watching on YouTube. It would push the audio through. Very strange.
Greg is
It might-
sort
it
of
might
thing.
be
It's
because-
probably a hardware-software interaction that just faults.
Yeah.
But hello, welcome everyone to Arcspire, our Fool's Moon Entertainment sponsored Worlds Without Number game here on Diesel Shot, where you have three major ways of impacting the course of play. Before we get going, Arcspire is a Worlds Without Number game in a weird fantasy sci-fi world, tens of thousands of years after an alien invasion. The players are the Spire Sent, specially marked people from the Arcspire who go out and help heal or destroy Aratu, the alien biomes that mark this world and are significantly different from our own and the places that we would live and be able to survive. Joining us for the first time is Ellie. Everyone say hi, Ellie.
Hi, Ellie.
You.
Yeah, she played Frystat. You'll remember her if you are an
Hello.
OG Diesel Shot stan. You can get the Deplore references. This is like, you know, when you in Dark Souls 3, when you go back to Anor Londo, that's what's happening right now. And yeah, Ellie, would you care to character pill us on Lauren?
Okay. Prepare to get Lauren pilled. So Lauren Haysworth is a field medic. She's a doctor by trade and a murderer by choice. She's very angry, but pretty private about it. She takes her doctoring very, very seriously, and that's at the forefront for her. The violence is definitely secondary.
We do love ourselves some ultraviolence.
Yeah, so you all roll up to the quartermaster to make the various purchases that I know several people have made pre-game, and you know that you have been assigned together to address a disturbance reported by the Guardian Saluk when he went through the Gaseous Gorge on his way back with some farmers he was escorting to trade there. The situation is as follows. Something is causing the gas to get volatile, and there's something screeching inside of it. Screeching very dangerously. People have described it as a faceless demon with an insatiable mouth, and if there was a more exciting description for danger, I couldn't think of it. So, you're going in to heal or destroy the Aratu as usual for the marked, and you are supposed to initially report to a location known as Roost, a village where the Guardian Saluk is currently helping the people deal with the problems that are besetting them. The people of Roost live high up on mountaintop mesas in a town carved from stone. They are very acquainted with the gorgeous Gaseous Gorge and have resources necessary to easily traverse it. Unfortunately for you, to respond in a timely fashion, you'll have to go through the gorgeous Gaseous Gorge before you can get there to get the resources that you need to help you navigate the gorgeous Gaseous Gorge. Well, at least they're giving you climbing equipment here. If you don't have it already, you get free climbing equipment that you just issued from the quartermaster, who does again sheepishly look over you and say, "Now, I see that you're some of the same people who went out last time. Go take care of the Pyre situation. Really appreciate the soap. We've had some lovely scents from the lye. I think that we've really freshened up the Arcspire overall with that. If you're interested in another little side job, I would say that there is a delicacy consumed amongst the people of Roost, and if you could return with their local beverage and the means of brewing it, I could again slide you some more requisition for your mission."
Lovely, lovely. I think we could manage that. Any
Sounds
more
like something
details?
up your alley.
He wants to get us some beer, or wants us to get beer.
Sounds to me like it, yeah.
You didn't explicitly say it was an alcoholic beverage, but you did say it was a local brew. A potent one.
Most things that are of that interest, that amount of interest, end up being either alcoholic or medicinal.
Facts.
Medicinal.
Medicinally alcoholic.
I could go for some medicine. Let's get to it then. Anything else you want
Indeed.
us to know, glorious quartermaster?
Oh no, I think that you should have received all of the mission briefing. I'm just here to handle the handing over of goods. Over his purple glowing tablet between two stone obelisks backed in a metal-rimmed room with strange blue tiles. He, handles taking stuff in and out of a vast storage chamber behind him. You are moving through what is an ancient spaceship turned fastness, and it shows. You receive your issue of gear, and become... I mean, you're already acquainted with Lauren. I mean, you all live in the Arcspire. You're some new up-and-coming marked who work as Spire sent out into the world. And before we go out, we do stop by to visit upon an important point, which is relative faction standing. This describes the influence level of the various factions. There are 3 ways to influence this game. 1. Spending channel points. You can give a dangerous to go alone to any character by inserting their name, and they will get an item or insight that they need at the moment. Or for Arcspire, you can give a faction influence boost using same. Failing and Flailing, thank you for displaying that by giving plus 10 faction influence to the Arcanists. That is about to be relevant, because otherwise the Arcanists were going to be out ahead. Or sorry, the Reclaimers were going to be out ahead, and you have just scooted them up
so
at 67. You also notice there's a lady called the Custodian. She is the highest ranking human in the Arcspire, as the Shenta begin the process of handing over control. The Custodian, blue shells, whatever faction is in the rear. Snow Dogs with a plus 10 for the Guardians. Very nice.
That's still not the Reclaimers.
Yeah, I'm not hearing Reclaimers, and I think there's something wrong about that.
And a plus 10 for the
Probably go
Reclaimers.
see
Thank
if
you with the
the
dailies.
chat has
There's 2
spoiled.
other ways to influence the stream. Scroll down to the About section, click on Money Honey, and donate, and you can make the bar on the left go up, and when it reaches $50 on this or another stream, a Wild Magic Surge, a Wild Wasteland moment pops off, Failing and Flailing. Thank you for the plus 10 to the Arcanists. Again, bringing them out ahead of the Reclaimers, because I'm literally about to make a relative faction influence thing. Scroll down to the bit menu. There's a bit menu. You can give money to heal people, give rerolls, cause extra enemies or extra hit dice to be given to enemies. Send in a little helpful ghost spirit. So if you got a few bucks you want to throw around, it would be greatly appreciated. It all helps the channel. And of course, Fool's Moon Entertainment, thank you for the extra 10 to the Guardians, Snow Dogs. Wow, you're really
See,
putting
Guardians
the Guardians
again,
up in the
motherfucker! I dare you!
Someone,
Got a sword!
someone let Rainbow know that Guardians are up in the
frightening.
running, I say. At the end of every session, they degrade down a bit, so these numbers aren't infinitely rising. There is a deflation period. Fool's Moon shout out, excellent. Indie tabletop game company that's sponsoring us. But I will just say that, Guardians is up to 66. Anyway, so the Arcanists are presently in a narrow ideological lean over the various of the 3 clades, slightly more favored in terms of overall thinking of the Arcspire, and they generally don't think that you should fuck with the gorgeous Gaseous Gorge or anything in general. They think that you should study it and heal it. Therefore, you are not issued any particular additional weapons to deal damage. However, you are given a tool that the Arcanists managed to find in deep storage, known as the Gorgeous Sextant. The Gorgeous Sextant is an item which assists in navigation in the Gorgeous Gaseous Gorge, but there is a cost. It has an inhaler-like tube on this strange, silvery machination twisting machine, and you have to kind of huff the sextant to get it to understand where you want to go, and then it will point you there. So
technology at its finest.
So Gorgeous sextant, and this only works in the Gorgeous Gaseous Gorge. In the G3, may take 1 system strain, puffing from inhaler, and to set the device to guide you while traveling to a set location. Gain a free reroll on failed or subpar survival tests to get there. Okay. And I have a question. It's a 0 encumbrance item. The 4 of you are together. The Arcanist Clade have kind of, implicitly left this because they think Renric might use it, but they don't hand it to anyone in particular. The 4 of you are together and are in the room, and you got the Gorgeous Sextant in front of you.
I take it, and then I hand it to Renric.
Oh, well. Thanks.
Let me know if you need me to use it. I'm probably better at finding my way around the wilderness than you are, no offense.
Well, to be fair, I have studied up a bit on the outlying areas since our last adventure.
Yeah, perhaps.
Wonderful.
Perhaps you'll be better at it afterwards.
Indeed. And
hint, I went up to +0 survive skill.
Oh shit! Nice. I went up to +1.
Nice.
you all
Oh
pull out.
wow.
You are prepared. You leave the grand halls of the Arkspire, your home, where you have either spent most of your life or are continuing to live, and before you is the Ark Shadow, a grassy land of plenty. Having grown up in the shadow of the Arkspire, they have known safety and freedom from Aratu and blight and beast and banditry, and their fields are plentiful and full. The people are, somewhat ambivalent sometimes towards the Mark to come out because, they have a policy that they don't care that much about the people of the Ark Shadow one way or the other. That being said, the Guardian Saluk recently helped them with a mission to Roost, and they cannot help but notice that Lauren is bearing the colors of the Guardians as well. And, Lauren, I want you to do a little something for me.
Okay.
Roll me a D100.
Absolutely. That's an 81.
So, you were hoping to get at or under 66, as that is the present Guardian level, because that is how faction influence rolls work. Roll D100, one hit at or under. So, they come out and they offer to, they're like, "Oh, you're one of those Guardians, aren't you? Well, you're pretty fine folks. Luke helped my dear nephew out there, and he returned with some very tasty snacks. And, oh yes, quite a bit of pottery, too. Ooh, they've got good pots out there. They don't grow so much, but they do have some... Anyway, yes, here you go. You're a physician, are you not? Perhaps I can assist you with some herb." And he kind of yucks something out of his pocket and offers it to you. And it would appear to be what the locals would refer to as pipeweed.
Oh.
Thank you. Very kind and flattering gift.
Oh, you flattered old man. I'm just doing right by you guardian folk. And he kind of like, tips his straw hat to you. Less so the other people here. And, kind of goes about his way, as do the rest of the villagers. And you are out on the main road with only the loom wash to your west. A wide, flat, watery area with an intense sandbar across it. So,
yes. The loom wash.
You've crossed the loom wash before. Well, everybody but Lauren has. Lauren, do you think that you've been out much?
No,
All right.
not this far.
By the way, you feel your faction's influence rising.
Oh my goodness.
76. Snow Dogs is throwing down. Yeah. So yeah, you see the loom wash. You might have seen it from the walls, and the guards on the Arkspire walls, wave to you as you head out, as they are wont to do. And you see this massive, looks like piano wire set down into the sandbar. But they're these steel cables that you can clip your climbing gear onto. If you'd like to make good time, you could go unclipped. But the loom wash is known for its unreliable and sudden twists of current, and it could easily wash you out to sea if you were not careful by overpowering you in this sand and barky kind of area. So now the question: Does everybody put on their climbing gear and hook up?
Yes, having learned a little bit from times with swamps and gear.
It's my first time crossing, so I think that would be a better idea than not doing that.
Yeah,
If you
Renrick
say
doesn't even
so.
think about it. He starts pulling out his clip.
Certainly. So you make a leisurely pace, sliding on your attachments. Now, occasionally, as you run along these massive lines, water rushes in over it, and you are knocked about a bit. There's a bit of a sand spray as well. And as you get to know it, the winds and the little whirlpools and dust-ups that are spawned by the systems here do sort of have a rhythm to them. I would like one party member, please designate them, to roll a whiz survival to grok when that's going to come, because if you can warn the party ahead of time, then the party can be ready to get down. But if you have multiple people giving multiple reports which are not as reliable, they will create ambiguity, and you will probably negate the bonus.
Renrick, what's your wisdom score?
My wisdom bonus is +0.
Okay. Then permission to be the one to make this roll.
Good for me.
Alright. Let's see. Watch me fuck this up. Okay, not bad.
Cass, you feel it in the tingle in the tips of your spikes as you lead the group out and across the loom wash. Very attenuated to it, feeling a tingle in your spine. You make it by the loom wash before the day is out, but there's only about a third of daylight left. You know in the plains ahead of you lies still water. The flat, metallic pool that felt like it would be oh so relaxing to rest around. Do you give it a wide berth, or do you go by it? It is a important navigation site. It would be harder to navigate if you deliberately keep a wide berth.
I'm not against still water. It's a good collector of detritus that passes through the area, it feels like.
As long as we don't go right up against the lake, I guess that's fine.
Well, the thing is, this is a
We
place.
don't drink the water.
Like as you look around, the reeds on average are like waist to nipple high for you guys.
Very
So
specific.
So yeah, and very it brushes at you with a little slight chafing. You'll have to ask about some powder when you get back to the Arcspire. But yeah, to get close enough to find it as a reckoning, you might need to risk getting pretty close and coming upon the shore. Also, thank you for the dangers to go on to Pat, Veronique.
Thank you, thank you.
So do you if you want to risk coming pretty close to it, everybody will make me a regular survival whiz test, and if you don't, then you don't.
I think we should use it as a navigational.
Let me rephrase. If you go to still water and then leave, you won't have to make a survival to navigate.
Yeah, I think we should go to Stillwater.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, we don't have to roll survival?
If you go to Stillwater.
If we go to
Oh,
Stillwater.
we're going to Stillwater. Fuck. All right, ignore that roll then, please.
All right, so you.
I mean, first off, it sucks. Second off, I
Yeah.
didn't need to make it.
After a time, you find yourselves hearing the gentle sound of a metallic sort of liquid bristling ever so slightly, largely flatly, on the wind alongside the brushing of reeds. And yeah. You are again very near to still water. You see its tepid surface shining, glimmering even.
I'm going to take a quick look around and make sure there's nothing hiding in the reeds this time. Can I do a notice roll?
Yeah, give me a whiz notice to make sure there's not another corpse here. Does anybody mention what happened the last time you were here to Lauren, by the way?
I think Viv would have along the way. There seems to be something about the water. Try and give it a wide berth that has psychological effects and is toxic on ingestion.
Noted.
Yeah, and Renerick does wonder about that. If the dead body we found last time is still here.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Anybody else roll
rolled a
whiz
9?
notice, or is that just Viv?
Yeah, I'll look around too, following her her lead.
Lauren, you've heard about Stillwater, but you've never been here. It is a large, almost mirror-shaped lake with silvery water. Would you be? How would you respond upon being warned of it by your party members?
Lauren's going to go up closer to the water and try and take a sample.
Sure, you've got like a little tube on hand. You slide some into a glass vial. Cass, you look around, you find the spot where the corpse was last time. It isn't there. Viv, you do the same thing, but you realize that it looks like... So there is like some like detritus and like mounds of built-up stuff there, as if though carrion has come through and feasted partially on a body. But not enough to account for it being wholly gone, bones and all. And Renrick, you find a droplet of dried blood that seems more recent than what could be accounted for from the corpse. Additionally, you didn't find any... I mean, the corpse didn't bleed. They died by asphyxiation, as you recall. And Renrick, you also, with your elven eyes, see that it almost looks like something has been dragged by way of more or less the sort of on-tent poles and canvas dragger that one would use to cross a desert or plains with if one was trying to drag stuff behind them and there was flat enough ground to accommodate that. Almost like a stretcher, but just letting it hit the ground.
No, I totally get that. That's like what the Plains Indians used to do.
Yeah, sleds.
Huh. I assume it leads off into...
It leads to the southwest in the direction of the gorgeous Gaseous Gorge.
Interesting that it
Oh.
doesn't lead towards Pyre. My initial thought was that we might have missed the caravan that came by this way, having taken the corpse.
Well, if it was the caravan, would probably be a lot more disruption.
And they probably would have mentioned it. You're right.
Hmm.
I
Curious.
wonder why the caravan doesn't come this way. Maybe they know something we don't.
With that number of people, I think it'd be a little more difficult, especially with kids. I wouldn't want to bring any kids near here.
Yes. Can't trust kids around shiny water.
You could roll an int no to be more familiar with the movements of the Aratuans.
I'm gonna roll that actually.
I would like to roll that if I can hear this conversation.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. And Ellie, the sheet will ask, if you don't automatically set it, it might ask you, like, what stat? Just int, 0 modifier.
0 modifier.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Why 0 modifier?
It's going to ask you for a modifier, and you leave a 0 to indicate no change.
Okay.
That, like, the vast majority of skill
okay.
rolls will
I
leave
see.
0 modifier. Okay. So, in ascending order of knowledge. Well, Lauren, you have read about the Aratuans that coming and going, and they do sometimes come by the Arkspire to trade and sell. They are folk who salvage and trade and travel through the Aratu. Some of the only other than Spire sent who are willing to do so on a regular basis. And they are a migratory nomadic people who travel through those lands. You know that they do have to come by here to go from the Infra Rush to the Arkspire. But you have a vague recollection of a map you saw once charting their general course, or some course they once took, not quite lining up one-to-one with a straight line. Renric, you are certain that they rely upon the stars and also solar navigation to travel through this particular area, but they do graze here because there's too much grass to pass up, but they give a wide berth to still water and do not use it as a navigational marker. Cass, you recall an old story that a drunk Aratuan once told you while you were deep in your cups. It was of Stargazer Shamar. Stargazer Shamar told a story around the campfires of old before they stepped into the flame and passed to the stars. They said that they had once awoken by a memory stone to realize the stars were not as they seemed, and that only by straining a certain silver liquid from a vast grazing land through a substrate in glass could they divine the stars fully to navigate here. And he learned this because one night, following false stars, the caravan had stumbled, look out first, into Stillwater, and one of their beasts of burden had been swallowed whole, the rider barely surviving, drenched in the liquid but surviving, although they did not make it through that winter for reasons not relayed at the time. Strange, but it does linger on you as you look up at the sky. You can't see the stars yet, but you do wonder what you might see if you were here at night. And I think that's the fullness of what you guys get from the Int Knows.
So this Aratu has something to do with fucking up the stars. Very interesting.
This isn't an Aratu. Important note. This is not an alien biome.
This is not an Aratu? What?
That's just fucked up.
So this is otherwise a plain or steep like you would find in any of a variety of places on Earth. Not saying this planet is Earth necessarily, just saying this is otherwise an Earth biome with the sole exception of this pool. Aratus are entire biomes. Things like the Loom Wash and Stillwater are more relics, or perhaps just landmarks. Maybe somebody built them? Maybe they're the aftermath of something strange happening? Perhaps the working of a powerful spell? Lost
They're
history.
like quasi-Eratu.
All right. Well, I
Well.
keep my wisdom to myself.
Okay. Yeah, so with that, it's getting late. The Gorgeous Gaseous Gorge is to your southwest. You could travel towards it and make good time. And maybe you'd be getting further towards it and be able to camp. But you know that per Saluk's report, the Gorgeous Gaseous Gorge has been putting off far more volume of its intoxicating fumes in a stronger, more intoxicating concentration than it normally does. If you depending on what way the wind is going to blow, it's not impossible a haze could overcome your campsite if you get close enough to the Gorgeous Gaseous Gorge. It's known to happen normally if you camp like right on the edge, but you've just had a single written report back from Saluk to explain the situation. So
Can you put us back on the overland
Sure.
map real quick?
Sure.
I look at it, and I'm looking at Gaseous Gorge, and I'm looking at where we are, and I'm looking at other things and places that we might sleep. And I turn to the Illuminati, Vivian, and I say, "Hey, Viv, why don't we rest the night in Pyre? It's just the same walk to the south, and I have this inkling that sleeping in Stillwater's berth is going to be not healthy for us."
You know, that's a good idea. I'll pitch it to the rest of the party and see what they think.
Say it's your idea. I don't like being responsible for thinking.
I'll do just that. Well, everyone, I just thought rather than try and make it to the gorge by the end of the night and camping within its, blast radius, one might say, I was thinking we could go stop by Pyre and have a nice bed and enjoy a little bit of safety without having to keep watch or anything. What say you?
Not the worst idea.
I'd
I'm
be
curious
interested
to
to
see
check
how
it
they're
out.
doing since our last outing.
Yes, Lauren, you weren't here for that. We stopped by Pyre and helped out a little bit with the infra rush, and everything worked out pretty much okay.
And
Don't understate it. We saved the city.
Sure. Now, aside, dear Renric, as I recall, you took a certain book with you when you were rummaging around, didn't you?
I did, yes.
Which book was that?
A tome bound in firm whiteboarding.
And did you take that from the chest in the back of the prayer house, or from Galvan's house? Yeah, did you open
I
Galvan's
think
chest?
Galvan.
Yeah. If you read the book, I'm assuming Renric would have. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Which definitely would have.
So you've read the book. This is a quasi-journal, quasi-religious text, which details his experience sleeping by the Dreamstones that evoked this strange memory of the Eternal Flame and of the Blackfire Pact. And it's when the Blackfire reached out to him and he gained his powers. You think that this is more or less the only... This doesn't look like it's been copied. This looks like the original, and the whole book hasn't been used. The way
He
it's,
took his diary, bro.
the plain white boarding implies to you a fancier, or like a decent like journal or something, or like a pre-made, prefabricated tome to write in, which is not super common, but they exist. That's interesting. Yeah. So you have that.
You said
Do you have that in your possession?
I probably wouldn't have taken it with me. No.
Okay, so it's back in the Arkspire.
Yeah.
Good. All right. Just establishing that. Is everybody still has their positions? Are you in favor of going to Pyre?
Yep.
All right. Everybody will have to make me a strength exert because you're marching hard to make Pyre even by nightfall, because you're trying to go for a third step tonight. So throw them down.
Yeah, I mean, like, we ain't sleeping out by Stillwater. The fact that it makes us want to fall asleep there means that's bad.
Don't trust it.
Don't trust
Trust?
its lies.
Not in my repertoire.
I'm bad at this. Cass, carry me.
Let's see if I'm any better first.
Yeah, I was gonna say all of us are. Yeah, you're good.
All right.
Okay,
So
there
Renric
you go.
and Viv, you feel your dermis
No, Viv
almost
is being carried. Don't worry.
firm up. So if that's gonna happen, then you need to make me a physical save.
Okay, fine.
Yeah,
well,
so as
I
it turns
guess
out,
it's not happening.
Princess carrying Viv across a hard march of hours is difficult when you have spikes on your body. It winds up being that there's no sufficient seating for Viv, but you do sufficiently stress yourself out that despite passing the roll, basically everyone in the party but Laloran just gained 1 system strain as you are tired out as you reach Pyre at the night.
Lovely, lovely.
And by the way, exclamation mark Zabitha Cabot, because we are about to show off a lovely map that she made. Shout out to our friend Heather. I'm going to open up the Pyre map again. I didn't think that we were going to be using it this time. It's also not going to be
Sorry
cleaned up
about
from the
that,
fight.
darling.
I
I mean,
assume
the reason that there's like a
we've,
traversable map in this game is so you can literally do this, so I apologize. I've cleaned up none of the maps. I didn't clean up Stillwater either. I had to go and delete people. But yeah.
I assume that we have our system strains and HPs reset to full.
At the beginning of the adventure, you were full HP, 0 system strain.
Perfect. Perfect. So I'm not over half already.
Ha 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 ha. Yeah, that would be interesting if we didn't reset.
Yeah, so you come
One would
in.
imagine you take a break after a hard day's adventure.
Absolutely.
No
So-
rest. Cass does not
so-
sleep. Sleep is for the weak, and she is strong.
You arrive very late. Pretend that the red splotches are all gone. Because they are. The Aratu has healed, and the waters are clean again, and you do see the well has been collapsed. A rock now, crushes its center, and it is no longer accessible. It looks like it was probably filled in as well based on some packed dirt and rock. So yeah.
God, this is just like coming back to a village in Montanui Online Game 1 where you've accomplished the task for that village, and they've done some small minor changes, and some of the NPC dialogue has changed.
I'm still on the traversable map.
Yeah, you're gonna get moved. I was just cleaning up the map.
Oh,
The
sorry about
last
that.
time this map was seen, it was like a bloodbath, so like there are a bunch of bodies around.
Oh,
You
okay.
arrive late at night, in whatever formation you want to be in
Shit
the party
went down.
box. But the Spire doesn't arrive. Galvan steps forth from is standing in the doorway of his house by the time you come around the bend into the small valley area that Pyre is built into. He stands there waiting with his cane and his cape.
He's annoying looking. I don't say that out loud. But she's thinking it.
I greet Galvan. Hail. I hope it's not too much trouble, but we are passing through again, and we're hoping for a place to stay the night.
Hail, Renrick Carver. You are known to us. The Arkspire has proven that they are not unfriendly neighbors. He gesticulates, and you see there are some pyrites kind of like poking their heads out of some houses, but also nearby there are just like, you know, some peasants kind of like, huh? And he gesticulates and says, you may have the bunkhouse, and join those who await permanent residence there. There's also some tents down the road, so he could have told you to go fucking pitch a tent with the rest, but he's not.
Aw, we get a bunkhouse.
Yeah, I mean, you and like 8 other people in an area the size of slightly smaller than a family house here. Yeah. It's cramped, and you have lots of nice stuff, and there are very desperate people who are here for shelter because they have nowhere else to go. Many of them Charnessian refugees, or people from destroyed towns, or who have been wandered here from further afield. They are confused to see you. Many of them are not used to living anywhere near the Arkspire, and they kind of whisper amongst themselves as they look up at you, all confusion and astonishment.
Lee, not to digress too far from this or take up any more time than I'm due, but I think Cass is not good with tight, enclosed, cramped spaces for, you know, sleeping purposes, and sadly, Cass is nowhere near as cuddly as I am as a person, due to the fact that she has spikes growing out of random parts of her body. She's pitching a tent outside the bunkhouse.
Yeah, Cass, as many do around bunkhouses, pitches a tent.
Cool. Well, Viv makes sure that she's nice and tucked in and the tent's all sealed up before she heads into the bunker herself.
+1 Molly point. Lauren, this is probably your first time, like, in close proximity with a bunch of people who aren't from the Arkspire.
Yeah.
And you are now expected to, like, kind of, like, sleep around them. It's late. You're not that tired. You do not skip leg day. So, when you had to walk extra, you were fine. If anything, you seem like the least tired person, but it also leaves you kind of wired. You're very awake, and there's just 8 people you don't know around you. They don't look hostile, but they look at you with confusion and a lack of familiarity, like they're gazing upon someone alien. And Lauren, I have a question. Do you have a visible? Is your stigmata visible under your clothes?
Yes.
And what does it look like?
It's the cheeks. The skin is kind of sloughing off.
Oh.
Yeah, and you can see the muscly underneath. It's right there on her face, and you can tell they're not looking quite at your eyes. They're looking down a little, like cheeks.
Mm-hmm.
And they look away if you meet their gaze, but they've heard of the marked. The marked exist, and sometimes they become the assumed. And the assumed are no longer themselves, and sometimes they do things. You wonder what stories they've had or experiences they've shared surrounding the marked, but do not initially speaking seem to be feeling safe, but they're in no position to protest a decision from Galvan himself, which they've just heard him make outside. So mostly everyone just sort of turns back to their cots and makes do.
I think I'm just gonna go find a nice, comfortable place to sit down outside and study the sample I took from Clearwater until I feel tired enough to go to sleep.
Sure.
There's a good chance Cass isn't sleeping 100% either.
And give me either an int no or an int heal.
Okay. I have two different browsers open because Roll20 won't start on Brave for some reason, so it's gonna take. Yeah. All right. Got it.
That's because Roll20 is for cowards. Endorse us! Yay! Alright, so you gaze into the liquid, and yeah, it's a strange metallic substance. It would definitely be poisonous to consume. And it's just got a strange nature to it, almost mercurial in form. It doesn't run quite like you'd expect a liquid to, but it's certainly not a molten metal either, and its temperature is much closer to what you'd expect of, you know, a freshwater source of liquid, and it's just odd overall. You can't imagine it's melting at this temperature, but it's liquid.
Right.
It seems.
Player theory here? Nanites. It's a fucking river of nanites.
So it looks weird. And with a 12, you determine that it does seem to have. And so, Cash, you deliberately didn't share the story that you heard, right?
Yeah, homegirl didn't say that out loud. It would have been weird.
Sure. So, Lauren, you feel like if someone were to be poisoned by this, you would be able to overcome that pretty well. You also feel like there's something in this that is sort of like a primer. In medicine, you would expect this to deliver something. Like, you'd expect this to be what penetrates the blood-brain barrier, and then you would put the drug you actually wanted to reach the brain inside of it. But as far as you can tell, there's nothing it's delivering to the. So consuming it would just cause you a bit of a tiff because it's poisonous. But on its own, it shouldn't do anything else. To your understanding, medically. But that being said, you have examined it medically, not magically, and this shit could be magic, yo.
Right, and I wouldn't know that, so.
I mean, you might get an inkling if you've like found a magic thing, but it doesn't seem like it, and your party members didn't say it was. So that's about your closest guess.
Okay.
And also, you'd guess that it probably has given the fact that it's out on the plains and the direct beat of the sun, even through the summer, and never seems to evaporate at all. It's probably gotten a very high sublimation point.
Right.
And given the fact
it's already a liquid, right? So it wouldn't be subliming.
What is it when you go to right straight to gas? No, it's vaporizing. It's just vaporizing because you're not.
Yeah.
I was thinking of one of the funky ones where you skip from liquid to gas, but that's not happening here. I digress. Yeah, it's a funky liquid.
Yeah. Sublimation is solid to gas, and deposition is gas to solid.
Yeah. So you've got it, more or less.
Yeah.
The information you're going to get. You sit outside in the moonlight. It's getting late. The crackling of the fire on the far side of the prayer house is strange. You see the symbol of the Guardians in golden flittering lights between two beams, one of black flame, one of normal red and gold, coming eternally out of this sort of spigot in the ground, this vast natural stone, almost looks like an altar, with steps slightly too large to be meant for people. The prayer house slightly obstructs your view of the base. This is a strange place, and as far as you're aware, there are no records formally of it because this place is about a year old. It's incredibly new.
Okay. When I first came into town, did all the people look generally healthy?
It was night. Nobody was outside.
Oh, no, okay.
The only people you've seen are the peasants in there in a dim, poorly lit bunkhouse. They didn't look great. They didn't look like they had a recent checkup. They look like people who have been fairly put upon and have been probably hoofing it for their life on insufficient nutrition for a while.
Right. Okay. Well, we have lots of stuff to do in the morning, so maybe we could have a stop here again to solve some of those issues.
All right, and Cass, you said you might mention that maybe not being quite all the way asleep. When you see Lauren come out, do you say or do anything, or are you staying right and nice, tucked in like Mom put you?
You know, she sometimes does what Mom says. Sometimes, and she kind of sneaks out and kind of after the scientific research is done, and I don't know what sort of vibe does what's your character's last Loren? Yeah, what sort of vibe does Loren give after the science is done and you've made the neat gun for the people who still are alive?
Uh-huh.
She is pretty sleepy now.
No, okay. Well,
But-
then maybe she doesn't.
Wait, what did I missed part of what you said? I'm sorry. What was the last?
There's no verbal exclamations or anything that you make.
No, she's looking at it very quizzically, and then she's kind of deciding to. She's jotting down in a little notebook that I'm actually using.
Cass is aware that you're awake and does nothing, says nothing, goes back to pretending to be asleep.
Yeah.
Alright.
In that fashion, you all pass the night. When you awaken the next day, there is an early bell, and pyrites come round, and they're ringing bells, some of them, and you hear them singing a solemn prayer, and it is a call to reflect, and it sounds, based on the words, as if they're talking about like inner reflection, but they come around to the bunkhouse door and around to the camps and gather up the various peasants, and without having to say or do anything, but just walking around and saying the prayer, the peasants clearly know what's up and wind up corral into the prayer house. The pyrites do nothing to encourage you to go, but they don't do anything to stop you either. They just come around and the peasants know it's time to go. If you would...
I'm holding my bespiked head, and I'm just like, oh, fucking too early for bells.
Yep, this is crack of dawn. And some of the people of Pyre are already awake. Cascare is presumably sleeping somewhere, and Leora the Lie Maker is out making some lye. But yeah, when Galvan awakens in the morning, he proceeds to the prayer house before the morning prayer roundup is done, to be there presumably when the flock arrives. So there are some pyrites who are sort of out and about. They look like they're kind of supposed to be keeping watch, just generally. That wasn't a facet of Pyre the last time you guys were here, and these pyrites have white wood clubs that have been notched in a rather certain way, and they seem a little on edge.
White wood gloves?
So
White
sorry.
wood clubs.
Oh,
The
okay.
trees nearby I think are white as well.
All right.
Yeah, the trees around this valley are white, so it would be, if you made it with local wood, it would be a white club. But they all have a notch in them, which, if taken very artistically, very abstractly, could be interpreted as a flame. It's like a double triangle with a zag. Or perhaps
Nerds, they're all a bunch of nerds.
Art nerds.
So Renerick would probably be awake, and would notice all of the peasants going out. And
to
he'd be
clarify,
curious.
you don't lose system strain for that night, because you got the system strain not sleeping well that night.
Checks.
Sorry, continue.
Got it. So yeah, long story short, he'd notice all the peasants going to the prayer house and would be curious. Last time he was here, he didn't get to hear much about the Pyrites' religion or beliefs. And he sees the closest Pyrite standing guard with a club.
Mhm.
and would notice that that's a little weird. So he'd go and greet that one, and then just very casually, like, "Good morning. What are you all up to?"
The pyrite sort of says, "The black flame protects, and we hold the vigil. Galvan has decreed that we will keep watch for strange comings and goings and interlopers since the incident you are well aware of."
Ah, you mean since we were last here?
Yes. We permitted a
I
false
understand.
shepherd into our flock.
Has
Cannot happen again.
I do not blame you for your caution. Has anything strange happened since then? Just curious.
He thinks about it. He rubs his chin and he looks at you. And you were really helpful last time, and you kept your word to everyone. Give me a charisma convince with a +2 modifier. There's a 2 modifier in the box.
Okay.
And the rest of the gang is like hanging back a little bit behind, but they can hear this unless somebody steps forward.
I'm pitching my
I-
tent.
I will say, while this is all happening, Viv is over talking with a person that came out of the bunkhouse that no one would, if paying much attention, would recognize having gone into the bunkhouse. She'd spent some time doing whispering beneath her covers.
And do you think that this is like is this a person who nobody noticed because they actually came with you to retcon, or someone who was here?
This is someone who was not here who has appeared. Perhaps magically.
Alright, so there's somebody who's caught up to you.
Perhaps.
This person is magical in nature, and Viv has summoned them using a spell.
Oh, shit, okay. Nice.
I can do that.
Yay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. A very magical looking, sorry, a very unassuming looking person.
Does this person look like a pyrite or just very unassuming?
Alright, so, Renric, you get a 9, and the pyrite just shrugs and says, "It's all been fine. The Aratuans are camped out in the info rush, and they'll go on soon. It feels like things are finally getting back to normal. We appreciate everything you did for us. We had a moment of weakness, and you showed strength."
Oh, I'm glad to be of help. And certainly don't be too hard on yourselves. It's a very strange set of affairs. At that point, he would kind of change the subject to presumably the morning service, and just ask if he's allowed to sit in, basically.
He'd say, yes, the morning reflection will proceed for the next hour. You are more than welcome to join.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
The party behind hears Renric talking about spending an extra hour in creepy Puritan town. How do they feel about that?
It's okay hanging about. I assume there's a breakfast available somewhere.
You haven't seen breakfast. You do
well-
smell individual houses cooking up breakfast.
Well, Viv will, assuming there's, everyone's probably in the chapel. She'll make a small breakfast for the party around back.
All right.
I would like to. Sorry.
Yeah. What do you want to do?
I was wondering if I could see the peasants coming out of the prayer house when they were coming out of the prayer house.
When in an hour.
Are they
from
still
now.
in? They're still in the prayer house.
They're gonna be there for like an hour.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, and I was talking about joining them.
About joining them? All right. Then I'd like to just go in and observe.
All right, so you go in and observe. So that's 2 people inside observing. There's a map for it. I'm not going to bother taking you there. Here's what transpires. There's a big fuck-off mirror on the far end of this prayer house. Previously, it was completely unmarred. It has now been marked over with black paint in a certain pattern that almost looks like it would be a character-based language. It's not familiar to you, and it. Roll me a whiz pray, either of you, to make sense of what's happening, because nobody's saying shit. They are sitting in their pews looking forward, especially the peasants, and the pyrites are around the sides. Silent vigil. And
Okay.
Galvan is sort of, standing to one side. Benric, you can't make heads or tails of it. Lauren, you feel that there is supposed to be something of self-reflection here, and the discomfort and the rate with which the peasants look away and then see other people behind them and then feel reinforced the need to look forward there's something going on here, but you're not exactly a theologian. And after an hour, a bell rings and it smells like some food is ready, and people begin to filter out of the prayer house. Galvan notices Renric and Lauren, but after a brief nod to you, heads out to assume his stance there, and by now Cascare has woken up. The people of Pyre are generally speaking closed and interested in conversing with themselves, and the peasants are generally speaking distrusting of you and huddled together. You, in the south, see a vague wisp of purple cloud, reminding you, as it dissipates into the atmosphere, that there is an active problem that needs to be solved. You have spent an hour here. What do you do?
Well, Viv's gonna start handing out small, thin wooden plates with, I assume, probably a simple oatmeal with fruits in it.
So the party readies up. You start handing out breakfast, and there is just one extra person here. Right? Correct?
There's just
Yes.
a man.
There's just a person none of you recognize who doesn't look like a peasant or a pyrite. Just present.
Oh.
Hello, everyone. This is
if you're going to introduce them, yeah.
yes. This is my friend. Say hello, Jorvik. And Jorvik would say hello with the voice because he can talk.
Hello.
Exactly. Jorvik will be accompanying us. He is a magical creation of mine. Don't feel bad about having him die. I can just bring him back. He's not real. Though if anybody does hit him, he will disappear and I can't bring him back very easily. So be nice to Jorvik. He's supposed to be taking blows for me in the future. Cass, you're not out of a job, though. Don't worry.
All right, and
Lauren's gonna try and just put her hand on his chest, not hit him or anything, just like.
all right.
You do feel a pushback.
Well,
he is
see if he's
corporeal.
corporeal.
Okay.
Isn't this related to believing that he's real?
You can make a mental check to not be damaged by him if you know he's not real.
Okay.
But you still think that he's real. He isn't actually. If you drop something on him, I don't think I think it'll pass right through him. But you can actually touch him physically.
Okay.
It's a weird spell, and it doesn't go
Wow.
away. It's great. As long as it's up, it's up. I don't have to spend anything on it.
Yep. So, with that, you all have breakfast and the day's travel ahead of you, 1 hour behind. What do you do? What do you say? Where do you go, Cotton Eye Joe?
What did the sextant do again? I'm sorry, I forgot.
It can let us reroll or failed or close to failing navigation rolls or survival rolls in the gorge, but only
Okay.
if we give it some air power, which probably might give us some strain.
You have to system
Okay.
strain to set the destination, and then, as long as you're going to the destination, you can get the reroll.
Gotcha.
And what effects does the soupy air have?
I think
Great
it just
question.
kills you.
I don't think we know that.
The
Okay.
Gorge, you vaguely heard that the gauge. You're aware of the fact that hallucinogenics are probably involved. Nobody has the means to capture and return with a gas sample to use. Like you don't have a mass spectrometer. You don't have anything relevant.
Right. Mhm.
Like it's a gas.
Yeah. If
People-
I personally were here instead of my character, I should get a bonus because I live in New York City, and that's just how it is all the time.
Correct.
Can I actually can Renrick think about what he might have read about the gorge to get a gist of what to
Yeah.
expect there?
If you guys want, you can give me an int no to expect more, or know more about what to expect.
I would love to do that very briefly. Oh,
Renrick is also thinking about the best way to approach this place.
so Lauren doesn't know anything about this area.
Yep.
She doesn't know Jack.
Renrick, you know that the Gorgeous Gaseous Gorge is indeed a place where there are strong hallucinogenics. The people of Roost who live nearby and do sometimes go into the Gorgeous Gaseous Gorge for some resources know of how to traverse it and have a local medicinal means of taking care of it. You think it's a tea. You don't know a lot, but you just know that they've got something you can drink.
Gotcha.
I share that with everyone. So the first point is that the gas is hallucinogenic. The second is that it might be worth visiting Roost, which is on the far side of the gorge.
Well, your job is you're supposed to go to Roost, link up with Saluk, find out everything he knows now, and then go take care of the Aratu.
Okay.
Is there any way we could
So
circumvent the gorge in any way? Is there like a
Not without
path around
additional
it?
weeks of travel in the other direction.
Okay.
Hence why I was written
All
off.
right.
You're going through that gorge.
got it. All right. Well, then ultimately, I say something like we have to be careful. It's going to be hard to know what to expect there.
Well, there's no use wasting any more daylight. Hopefully our doctor will be able to treat anything that happens along the way.
Yep. So, you head off. It is an easy run at first. The clouds that were not north seem to have all headed up far by now. And you find yourselves at the edge of the Gorgeous Gaseous Gorge. You see pillars, smoke, billows of gas, and creaking wood and rope bridges all around, and wooden struts embedded deep in the wood, embedded deep in the rock, petrified long ago. You're now gonna make me, if you want to navigate, a wisdom survival. And if you want to gain the reroll, before you make the test, you're gonna have to spend the system strain to gain that benefit.
Renrick would be willing to do that.
I would also, if
mean-
oh, sorry,
No, go ahead.
if we have any spare fabric, I would like to fashion some like basic face coverings out of it. Like, I'm not sure it's going to do anything against the gas, but just in case there's any any particulate
yeah.
matter that might be
The
part of it.
PPE. Give me a dex
Yeah.
heal to fashion the masks.
A dex heal, okay. Oh, that's the okay.
Stand before the gorgeous gaseous gorge. Now, the other Aratu is a point crawl, but here you don't even have a good enough knowledge of your overall surroundings.
Ooh.
Yeah, so Lauren has fashioned very nice masks. Here's what that's gonna mean. The first time you fail a gas-related physical save, re-roll it and take the new result. The mask will be tainted and no longer useful after that. So
I
everybody,
just realized I've been muted for a while.
everyone take note of it. Yeah.
So I was proposing that Cass and I was proposing that Cass would roll it, and then Renrick spoke up. So I don't know which one of us would prefer to roll the survival.
Well, I volunteered to use the sextant
Yes.
for
Yes.
navigation.
Okay.
Are we all rolling survival checks?
Yes. You are all gonna have to roll survival checks to travel here.
Okay. And that's
Actually-
survival wisdom.
And actually, hold on.
Woo.
You can roll either survive whiz or dex exert. Dex exert is just to
Oh.
get you through, and survival wisdom is to lead the way. At least one person needs to be able to make the survive whiz.
Okay. Well, I don't have
So
any
we'll
any
leave the
difference
survive whiz
between.
to Renrick, and
Dex
I have
and-
failed my whiz. Survive whiz. I'm assuming you need above a 6 to.
Do we
succeed.
also make the? Do we make both rolls or just one?
I think
Just
Just
one.
make one. You pick
Okay.
one. You go with it.
Yeah.
I'm
Alright,
doing survive
Renrick.
whiz because I'm good at thinking. I'm okay at
You're
thinking.
making great time. As you're making great time, and Cass, I haven't seen one from you either way. Pat.
It was earlier.
Oh.
She got a.
Yeah, I
4,
rolled already.
I think.
I got a
rolled
5.
Okay.
Oh, 5.
So, you are all making your way through the gorgeous gaseous gorge, and you see lots of enchanting stonework. The gas doesn't really seem to be that much of an issue on the pathways, although Cass and Lauren, you fall behind a little because there's a slight gap in the wooden struts at one point. And Viv and Renrick and Viv's companion, what was his name, Viv?
Jorvik, or whoever. He doesn't matter.
Wow.
Love him. He's not real people, but
Love him, but not really.
All right. Anyway, you're here, and yeah. So Cass and Lauren have fallen behind slightly. As you all take in the beauty, roll me a mental save real quick.
Okay.
the saves in this game are so.
Oh yeah, Cass.
How do you have a better
superior
mental
mind.
save than me? How do you do that?
Cass is strong.
Wait, how do
in
you?
the head.
What is the save?
There's a saving throw, and you click click
Okay.
V. Something.
Yeah, no, I did it. I just like.
So you're not
why-
so saves in this game don't have a set DC. You have a personal save that you save against, and there's one DC, and it's just your personal DC.
Okay, and what is
You
the
failed.
DC?
Yep,
Mine is
your
14.
mental is 14 right now. Yeah. And
Okay.
you have inserted your level as 2 in the box, right?
Yes, yeah.
Cool. Okay, so that helps with auto calculating. Okay, so here's what happens. Lauren and Vivienne, you are both really, really, really enamored with the stonework around here.
Okay.
And yeah, yeah. So Viv, and Lauren, you're feeling very enamored by the stonework. And that's around the time the lighter airier gases do really gust up towards you and buffet you slightly. What would everyone's initial reaction be? There was like a strong wind blowing up from the chasmous abyss below, and you think it might be going for your mouths. What would your immediate reaction be, Renrick? You're next to a stone wall, if that's not too obvious.
Yeah. I would quickly search for some kind of enclosed space to avoid the breeze.
Nada. I mean, the best you could get is you could wedge yourself up with this little stone spire.
Yeah, he probably wouldn't go for that. He would probably try going prone to the ground in the hopes that the gas would stay above him and not reach him at the ground level.
Sure. And give me a dex exert as you do that to see how gracefully you fall. Meanwhile, Viv, how are you responding?
She's going to lean against the stone edifice and try and kneel down and hold her hand up to her mouth.
Here's the thing. As you do that, your mind begins to twist as you kneel before the stone edifice, and you
Jesus.
wind up reaching out behind you, and your mind twisted tumbles back. Roll me an evasion save. You're falling down a Z level.
Holy shit!
Not to clarify, there's like an incline here, so it's more like up a path you walked up, but you know.
Bonk. Evasion save?
Yeah, evasion save.
And that's
You managed to
Good dice.
you managed to pull it out. Lauren, what would you be doing as it comes up? You are a little bit lower and closer to the smoke.
Okay. Can I roll a no int and take a big deep breath?
What's the point of the? What do you want to find out? What do you want to know?
I just kind of like Aldous Huxley, like find out what this feels like.
Oh shit! You mean you're trying to intentionally experience it?
Yeah.
I don't think it's a skill check. You're just breathing that shit in.
Okay.
You forego.
Well, just to like kind of
you forego your
guide myself through
You
it.
will forego your physical save and just automatically fail.
Okay.
Do you want to pull down your mask, or do you want to like taint the mask in the
I think that would
process?
be a better idea, because then I can
Alright.
still like keep it for the next time.
You go for that, and as you do it, your mind spins, and you look at the rock above you, and your eyes roll back as you're trying to see. Your skin feels low, and you fall, and you clatter onto the petrified wood struts, and they shudder a bit, as you have also had your mind bamboozled a moment. And Cass, and Lauren, whenever this physical save comes up, you failed it. Cass, what do you do?
Okay. Well, Cass takes a deep breath in before the fucking gas hits her. And so a couple different things happened this turn, and Cass is gonna respond to the one that happened first because she saw it first and cares about it more objectively. Sorry, Lauren. Cass is going to try to rescue Viv.
Aww.
Okay, so she's to clarify, prone on solid flat ground at this time. She's not dangling.
Yes.
You're still gonna so you're gonna try and quickly, as this is happening,
this is probably like
you
some
basically
mad
have to
exerting.
make a jump. Yeah. So this is gonna be.
I do believe I have a dangerous to go alone that was never.
You do have a dangerous to go alone from
Worked.
Veronique. Give me a dex exert.
Okay. Can it be strength?
No,
But-
because
No, you're
because
right.
it's about whether or not you're fucking. It doesn't matter how strong you jump. It's about whether or not your ankle slides between one of these petrified
Okay.
struts of wood, which is exactly what would happen if not for a quick, lucky twist of your ankle at just the right time. Intuitively, you would have rolled your ankle had you landed as intended, but with your strange jump, you instead land just fine. So dangerous to go alone. Redeemed. You run up towards Viv. Everybody make your physical save. Reminder that thanks to Lauren's masks, except for Lauren, you're just failing this shit.
Yeah.
Oof.
If you
Fuck.
fail,
Alright,
fail, you get to re-roll. But remember, your mask is now tainted and no longer helping you.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna re-roll then. Wow, that's even worse.
All right.
Well,
So
it's actually not
okay.
worse.
So
Viv's got the
so
dice.
Cass and Lauren take 2 system strain and 2 damage,
Okay.
and Vivian and Renric take 1 system strain as the gas sort of seizes upon you, and you hear a strange sound as if
boy.
though like a whistling through the air as large floaters emerge.
Oh.
Within their jelly forms, you can see almost rings of bone. They don't seem to be immediately hostile, but they do float in your direction.
Lee,
Yeah.
just a heads up, I'm now over 25% strain.
Very nice. Renric, you feel yourself growing firmer. Matt, you didn't get anything for a while. You feel your dermis harden and crack. And you gain +2 damage to all unarmed attacks. And a +2 to
Got them
AC.
claws.
Yeah, you're a solid boy. You feel yourself getting a little heavier, but that's not affecting you yet. Anyway, the floaters are coming up. Viv, you're still on the ground. Cass is next to you, though. Lauren, you're still on the ground. Renric, you're still on the ground. And Lauren, give me a whiz heal to process your experiences.
Okay.
And how would you all react as the floaters are coming vaguely towards you? Your mind is tripping. You feel like
Yeah.
something bad juju's down your throat. You're not gaining much knowledge here, homie.
Mm-hmm.
Cass is going to try princess carrying Viv in a way that won't impale her to any source of high ground.
Okay, so
This could even be
there's
climbing.
2. So here's the available high ground. You see that you see like this like white moon texture. This is a higher level up. If you'd use your climbing, you might be able to get there. But the immediate thing is like walking up here gets you to a higher level. You see these like rings, by the way, up here, lodged between the rock. They are these almost bony looking, but with holes in them, circles, almost like a halo or a torque. And they've got little like holes in them. They're sort of like clustered around these high places. Either way, you're trying to like clamber up with Viv. Roll me a strength exert, and you're trying to do it with Viv. You're trying to do it with climbing tools. That comes out to a neutral. Just give me a straight up strength exert.
Okay.
Thank you, Lee. You bound up easily, clattering some of these rings aside. Renric and and Lauren. So Renric, what are you doing?
So these floaters, they're just moving passively, it looks like, right?
Towards you guys. They don't seem hostile, strictly speaking, but they're moving towards you.
I think he would just observe them for now.
Cool. Give me a whiz perception whiz notice as you take a good look. And Lauren, you're kind of on the ground, like slammed against these wood struts near some discarded rope, and there are floaters moving forward. What do you do?
I'm still on the same Z level I was before, though, right? I
Correct.
didn't
You haven't
fall.
fallen any further down, although you are presently like over a precipice.
Okay, I would like to get closer to the rest of the party.
All right, so there is a gap that you have to cross with like where there's like a 2-foot gap where there's like no wood at all, and that's from like a 2-foot strut of just a single beam. So to make that step is gonna be a dex exert under these dangerous circumstances. If you use your climbing gear to like throw a python or some shit to the far side, like hook on the far side, you get a +2 modifier to it.
Okay, would that cost extra movement?
No.
Okay, then I'd like to do that. So, Dex exert 2.
Okay, you climb across with ease. There is some shuddering, and so you've gotten across the side. And you want to keep moving?
I would like to kind of get. How do you ping?
Click and hold.
Hold left click.
Like there, like, or is that on a cliff? I can't see because of the
gas. Yeah,
the
so
purple.
This is wall.
Okay, so then I would like to get like around this area.
All right,
Yeah.
so you run up next to Renric. Cool.
Yeah.
Here's what happens. Renric, you don't see their bodies very well, but you do notice that it seems like kind of cause and effect here, where like something stirs up the gas by moving through it rapidly, and floaters begin to respond and divert their course. This floater floats up and sort of like following after Cass, kind of like gives a sweep down of its like floating organs and tries to grab Viv, as if they were a natural part of its fluid motion.
What the fuck?
Am I unconscious?
It fails to grab you. No, you're not unconscious. It fails to grab you. This floater, however, is going to come over to Lauren and try to grab her.
No.
Does a 14 hit your AC?
My AC is it should be 15 because I have a shield, but it says
It
it's
doesn't.
14.
It doesn't. Yeah, I changed it. So it doesn't hit you. And the grabs deal no shock damage. The floaters. So this is going to come down to Viv and would anybody immediately act, particularly in a hostile or physically violent way, in response to this event?
I'm
And I
playing
am
tug of war with
unconscious.
Viv.
You are conscious. You are conscious. Viv.
Okay.
You can act.
I would like to point at the floating jellyfish and let go of my hung spell, the coruscating coffin. And I would like to have that happen
Cool.
at the floater.
So roll me your damage, because that ain't a one-hit dice creature.
God, it would have been so much more useful for us. So it gets plus 1d8 per level, so now it's 2d8.
However, it does still, the coruscating coffin appears, gold lightning jabs in, and it cries out, twists, and so sorry, Ellie, I think you're within 10 feet for this. The death burst triggers, and
Jeez.
Cass,
Oh, no.
Viv,
Oh, boy.
Lauren, make me your physical saves.
Okay.
God.
Orbits over there vibing.
You've popped
We
it
are
and
not
it's gone.
vibing. Nobody is
no.
vibing.
By the way,
I'm,
as the jelly bursts out, kind of like a gore field, you see one of these rings still with like live like tendon and shit coming out of it, plop down into the rock and skid off the side. Viv.
So I think I'm at 25% system strain, but I don't know what the mechanical
Your skin has grown even more like raw and
threadbare.
exposed.
Yeah.
However, you do feel as if though you are becoming more sensitive to the world around you. +2 modifier to notice tests and other effects you may learn in the future. But yeah,
Okay.
you become even more Attack on Titan-y as the skin winnows from your cheeks to reveal the muscle underneath. And yeah, so, and bear in mind, remember, succeeding means that you have taken 1, and failing means you've taken 2. This isn't a succeed and negate at all.
Yeah, I already gave myself the damage
that-
and the system.
I admittedly forgot about that. I'm going up 1. I'm at 25 as well.
Yeah, your skin hardens, and you gain +2 to AC.
Booyah. Still
But
pack.
also plus 1 damage anytime you fail a physical save.
Ow.
So if this floater's turn, violence has begun.
Wait, I'm finally at 25% of my system
Your
strain too.
spikes grow. Unarmed attacks become stab skill tests for you as your knuckles sprout Wolverine stakes, and you feel your
Nice.
muscle shift, your like armor shift uncomfortably under you, and you feel as if though like you're just it's rage is building in you, a deep oiled well ready to spring forth like the cobra and sink its fangs in and release venom. And yeah, who's to say what your anger management issues will bring? But with that, Viv has procced the encounter. Lauren and Renrick, would you have immediately tried to kill this thing, or were you trying to not do that?
I wouldn't, but I'm rolling initiative just because I was gonna try and
Sure, everybody rolls initiative.
move away.
Thank you, Matt. So okay, and to clarify, okay, yeah. So, and Renrick, what about you? You're staying down, right?
He would get up at seeing the floater actually, move offensively. But since Lauren wasn't actually grabbed, I don't think he would immediately charge in.
Sure. Pop yourselves on the initiative track. Oh, are you guys not?
I fixed it. Mine's 7 actually.
You can change it as long as you get yourself on the track. You can change it.
Yep.
Yeah. Casually reminder: you click your token, you click the initiative button, it goes over there.
Oh,
And yeah.
Initiative with advantage. And that's
Who would win? One floaty bubble monster, or one
hey, roll the
spiky
same
boy?
thing twice.
Cass
Yeah.
thinks to herself in her
and
head,
Remember,
which is now pretty empty.
And remember, you can edit it to. I only see 3 characters on here.
No thoughts, head
Renrick,
empty.
you're supposed to be a 6. I'll put you in. So.
Oh, I didn't know you could edit it yourself. Okay.
Yeah, as long as you are on the tracker, you can edit your own initiative number. Floater. So Viv, you go before the floater, I think. You're feeling your skin get chalky white, like caked, connected, firm dermis, hairs disappearing. Wish I could do that. What you gonna do?
Well, I still only have 1 spell, but I don't like the concept of this thing getting any closer to us, so I'm going to use my first. I'm going to be using Retain Sorcery, and second, I am going to be using that Retain Sorcery to cast the Ineluctable Shackles of Volition without costing my spell slot.
Very nice, targeting the floater.
So they make a magic saving throw, and if they fail, then I can tell him to just go away. There's
They
a
fail.
fail. I'm going to say, hello, floater. Go that direction. And
Yeah,
she
the floater
points off the screen.
lacks significant intelligence, but it is capable of obeying a simple point and click direction. On its turn, it eggs its op range on Lauren. If Lauren would swing an op here, you do hear Viv's command, and it does seem to be obeying.
If these things aren't intentionally and sentiently hurting us, then I think that that would be
Yeah.
not a great idea.
The floater takes off. You do see the gas wave that came up to hit you guys sort of like dissipates a little, and as it does, the floater sinks as well, as if though it was maybe riding the
You
currents up
shooting at
here.
it?
Maybe.
Okay, they don't get a save when they get hurt, do they?
No, because I didn't tell it to get hurt. It can defend itself, but
Yeah.
like, what
Its
is it
version
gonna
of
do
descending
all the way
itself
around
is it takes 1 damage. It like the crossbow bolt whoops, as if though a a little, not Q-tip, a toothpick into a jelly cake, flops into it, leaving a bit of a ruined siding, but overall not destroying it. And it just floats below the horizon of what Cass can aim at, and one crossbow bolt slurps its way as the floater works it out of its sphincters, down, 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 falling infinitely into an abyss where you're told there's water, but you certainly can't see any. And with that, the gas recedes, and you are where you are. Cass and Vivienne scrabbled up on the cliffside. Jorvik, like, I'm Jorvik. And everything
Exactly.
else more or
He
less
sure is.
as it was.
You sure are, buddy.
So yeah.
I turn to Viv, and you see my eyes completely black, my pupils white specks, and I say, I don't like those things.
Be a dear, Cass. Take a breath. Relax. Come back to Earth. It's okay. No need to hit anything right now. You're okay. It's okay, everyone. We should probably get moving again.
Alright.
Renrick would check in with Lauren. Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm fine. A little shaken up. This is my first time out of the spire in a while, but I'm doing great.
Good.
Lee, question.
You have a ways to go still.
Sure, yeah.
What do these rings smell like?
If you get really... So, okay. These rings or the fresh one that just plopped out, and I'm going to splash in some pleasant-looking liquid.
She probably saw that. Never mind. I think she's put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah, I mean, I would say, like, it's hard to say with all of the other scents going on in the gorgeous gaseous gorge, but if you bring it in close, like a bone, and it feels like a bone, but where there should be, like, a holeness to it, it's like there's regularly, not drilled, but naturally occurring holes in it, and it looks like there's some, like, stuff up in there, like marrow of some sort. Anything that looks terribly, like, meaty, like a tendon, is gone. From these, anyway. If you don't, you could inspect the lower one, maybe see something different. But Cass, you saw that thing up close, and you saw that plop out of it. These look like a dead ringer. For something that was at the center of all of the organs and tendons and bits of strained bits within the jelly all seem to network back to here as if though a bubble tensed at once around a single ring before it was no more.
You got me a dead ringer, because that's what those are.
Don't worry, kids. That's less cringe than what they actually are.
Wait, what are they?
Oh, you're gonna find out. Don't worry.
The floaters or the rings?
The rings. All right.
No, I grab one and sling it around my.
Sure.
I like what's
I'd like
that
to,
game where you shoot horseshoes and then
It's
horseshoes.
called horseshoes.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you get if you pick one up, you get +1 parentheses skull.
I would like
Scary
to
air
put
quotes.
on some fresh, large nitrile rubber gloves.
Damn, Haysworth. Damn.
To examine the fresh, in parentheses, skull.
Okay, so like you don't exactly have like rubber plantations or the ability to fabricate that sort of a thing, but you got gloves.
Okay.
Of a nondescript,
Yeah.
shiny
You really
black
said-
form.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine.
Get that from
You reach in and examine it. It looks like a variety of tendons and nervous tissues run into holes in this bony structure. Give me, and in fact, there's almost something like a fluid, like gushing out of it, light and pink like punch, out around, draining and straining. Could you give me an int heal to examine it?
Okay.
You think that this is what passes for a floater's brain?
The ring itself or the goop
ring.
around it? Okay.
So the ring. Okay, so the ring is bone, but there's
Right.
regular holes in it that stuff comes in and out of. Rather than having
Mhm.
like a hole on the bottom for a spine to run up, this is just the only bone in the floater's body, and
Right,
it
so it's kind of like the
houses
spinal cord.
what would appear to be a vague analog to gray matter, but almost less sophisticated than a brain. You're not exactly a neurosurgeon, but you get the feeling that this thing is dumb even for an animal. It was probably acting on very base responses.
Okay. I'd
Like-
like to keep the fresh ring
Like
as fresh
approaching
as possible.
approaching
if I
plant
can.
level of dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah, you preserve it as best you can. You wrap it up, but without the vital organic
Juices.
slurry that constitutes the body of the jelly, it's a matter of time before that shit's dried out and dead.
All right.
You preserve it as best you can, though. It'll be better than
Yeah.
there's still shit in that is long gone from all those other rings.
Mhm.
So +1 fresh skull.
Nice.
And yeah, with that, the group sees a cable bolted into this spire, going out over a rickety, petrified plank rope bridge. It goes out into the gas in a beautiful sort of array of swooping vista dancing before you and brilliant stone spires in the distance. This really is a breathtaking place. And it might be literally breathtaking for you, but
I'm gonna say yes.
you appreciate the beauty. Unless there's something that you would say or do after that, or Terry here, I believe you would advance towards your objective.
Come along, Jorvik.
Yeah, which somebody rolled a good whiz notice earlier, right? Or a good whiz survive.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
Rennick, I think, right?
Yeah, I think Renrick rolled like an 11.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Renrick knows the way. Renrick knows the turns to take. You come
Rennick.
upon a point, Renrick, where you could go a ways and take more of the day, maybe risking not getting out in time to avoid a series of like spire tops that have connected bridges to them. Or you could brave the spire tops and cut like 6 to 8 hours off your journey, almost certainly making roost by tonight, barring some disaster. Renrick, you're pathfinding right now. You're telling people where the safe way is to go, what's going to get them there. What do you say?
So wait, so there's the spires with the bridges.
So right
And
now,
what's
this
the
is
other
all
option?
this is all like big stone spires, right? But this one you hugged around like cliff face. You had room to maneuver, and there was stone to cling on to or cubbies to kind of cling to, like you did, right?
Yeah.
The way that's going to cut 6 to 8 hours off your journey, or rather, the 6 to 8 non-hour detour, right? The non-detour that would add 6 to 8 isn't this. Is like disparate but close spire tops. They just have bridges to the top of them. They are like 15 to 25 feet across the top, and they are, slender and exposed and a bit strung along. Anything that was, I don't know, looking around here would probably see you if you were out there. Now, they'd still see you on the side of or on a bridge or on a spire just the same, but it does feel like a prolonged, exposed area even by the standards of this Aratu. But you...
Renrick's priority would be to get out of here as fast as possible, to have as little exposure to the gas as possible.
Yeah, this is
So-
bad.
Yeah, fuck this place.
He would recommend the shortcut or the shorter path.
That's
and might
exactly the same
mention-
call I would have made.
Me too.
He might mention that it's a narrow path, but it's the fastest way through.
Alright. You guys have to cross a 1x1 beam with a cable next to it. And attaching your climbing gear is going to be the best way to do it safely.
Oh yeah.
In the process, do you co-link your climbing gears, or do you just each individually go?
I would say co-link.
I would definitely say
Mhm.
co-link.
Yeah.
Myself the cast.
So, yeah, sure. You shimmy ya, shimmy yay across. Show me how you are next to each other, all like directly adjacent because you're linked up.
I think either Cass and I should take the lead and the anchor,
Sure.
since we're the two physically strongest
Gorge.
out of
I'm
the...
gonna let Renric go first, and then me, and then
Okay, yeah, because he's the
Viv,
guide.
and then you.
All right,
Yeah.
Renric.
Yeah.
Where's
that's,
the normal man?
All right,
Pathfinding.
so Renric.
Oh yeah, right. I guess normal
Oh,
man
oh.
actually has to.
Does-
Does normal man just float?
Yeah, he could. I mean, like he has to walk on
He's
something.
just gonna
but he can't
walk.
fall.
Yeah, he's just gonna
Can
stroll
he fall
casually.
too?
I don't think he can fly. I mean, like I can make it whatever I want. I don't think I can change it after I've said it. And
Yeah. So if
he
she
can't be 100 feet away. So if someone were to like physically push him off, he would fall and disappear. But I also don't think he's like
All right.
in danger because he
So
doesn't.
Jorvik
have any, like,
isn't really
weight.
in the train. Renric, a breeze comes. You're out front, and
Wait,
Lor-
I thought we were putting the big the warriors in front.
Oh, are we
No,
flipping
we've-
this?
All right. I thought Pat said Renric out front.
Yeah. And
Oh, she
Renric
did,
agreed.
he's the
I was
guide.
wrong. I was wrong. I take the L.
All right. So Renric and Lauren, you feel a strong gust of wind. Give me strength exert tests.
Strength exert. All right. Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
Sorry. Was that me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
Strength exert. Okay.
Okay. Renric, you just barely managed to buckle down in time. You look like you're windsurfing, climbing gear into the cable. You on the beam, being brushed back towards the abyss. Lauren, make me an evasion save as you twist your ankle a little.
Uh-oh. My saves have been awful today.
So you get knocked off, and Viv is next to you and connected to you, but you're also connected to the cable. So Viv, you're only halfway torn off. Give me an evasion save.
Oh boy. Let's see.
Oh my
Okay.
God.
My dice have been hot
This
tonight.
is giving me flashbacks.
Let's keep
Let's
it
do
good.
it.
Let's keep it good. Hot dice. Hot dice. Evasion.
Okay,
Hot dice.
Viv is coming off. First
Close.
thing
Can
you're
I
gonna do.
grab Viv?
First we're gonna see if you're falling too. So give me your
Okay.
evasion save.
Oh boy. Oh no. Oh jeez.
Do.
As a reminder,
Roll
you
new
can spend
character.
bits.
Oh
my
god.
God.
You're
Kill
falling
me.
as well.
Any-
Renric, you are the
My
anchor you successfully held. Here's what you're gonna do. You are a rock. Your
Literally.
stone forms against this breezy gas. Give me a physical save with advantage. So roll it twice and take the better result.
All right.
You feel a weight to your double success. You feel
Oh, wow.
the weight to your body has
That's
saved
that's
you
where all the
here.
good dice went.
You were going to get tossed off, but your body, from the system strain, has become an anchor. And from this, Cass, you managed to be saved your footing just long enough to give me a strength exert to try and save Viv and Lauren.
Alright. Yeah, let's do this. Exert. Normal. Strength.
Oh.
Oh, it's
You
so bad.
managed to prevent Viv and Lauren from going to a total free fall. They're still connected. Their gear hasn't snapped, which is good.
Thank God. For
But at this
that.
point, Lauren, do give me a luck save.
Oh.
Bye, Lauren.
First luck save.
So your climbing gear under this circumstance, actually the clamp does snap, and you are now hanging only from Viv, who is drug even further down, and Cass is okay. Strength exert is no longer good enough. You're being pulled over Renric. Do you want to do anything that might help Cass, like grounding her or something to help with this collapsing chain situation behind you?
Yeah, absolutely. I would. Is there anything to brace against here? First of all?
The cable, the metal cable that runs alongside the plank.
Okay, but there's no like railing or anything.
The cable is kind of a railing, but it
Yeah.
is a freestanding one that is taut, but still freestanding.
Yeah. I would like kind of by instinct reach out and grab Cass's arm and try to pull her back.
Give me a strength exert with a modifier of 2.
Yeah, Cass grabs and
Oh, Renerick got a dangerous to go alone.
Yeah, very nice.
Ooh.
Renrick, you
Oh, yeah.
actually, you see, yeah, here's what happens, Renrick. You're about to fuck up, and then you're like, fuck it. It's time for
Thank
Stone
you.
Hand to meet Spike Horn. And you grab the shoulders, roll me that again with a modifier of 2. Yeah, failing
it's
and
the same
flailing,
roll.
very appropriate name,
The
Jim.
dice want to go in the hole. The dice want to go in the hole. Jorvik, help Renerick.
You grab Cass, you yoink her up. Viv, what, if anything, can you even do to influence the situation, or do you try to do with Lauren hanging free from you?
Lauren, are you hanging off my ankle or my arm?
Well, so she's connected to you.
Okay. She's
Her
just
climbing
hanging...
gear's connection to your climbing gear is still good.
Okay, well,
Where
I'm
did
gonna...
the gear snap?
The thing that was connecting you to the cable. And
Oh,
also your
Oh, but
ability
you're
to
still
climb.
connected to me.
Yeah, so the
Okay.
climbing gear is more or less ruined for climbing purposes, but still has you attached at more or less like probably the waist or torso to Viv.
Right.
Nice. Well,
Could Jorvik give a hand, or
he can only damage people psychically. He literally is useless.
okay?
He
What if he
doesn't
makes us
exist, remember?
believe that we're climbing better?
Jorvik, cheer us on, Jorvik.
he
I'm
just
gonna-
points at people and you know,
Gives thumbs
mentions
up.
their picayune flaws.
I can do part of their tricks, and I can take over people's minds. I'm not very useful in this situation. Vivian's gonna try and pull, at least hold on to the bar and cable, and at least try and like steady herself so she's not currently slipping anymore.
Give me a strength exert with a modifier of 2.
Yeah, is there any way I can modify this, or is that taking
The
into
modifier
account
of 2 is that Cass is death grip on Viv.
Oh
Yeah.
boy.
Yeah.
Good thing I
Oh,
spec into strength. That's my build. Being strong and physically effective.
That's what I'm here for.
Hot dice.
Viv's
Hell yeah.
porcelain
You
skin
got this.
hoists Lauren and herself back up onto the bar, and after a shaky moment, you are all ready to proceed forward again. Lauren, your climbing gear has been destroyed, but you can still use the ruined climbing gear to attach yourself to
Right.
people in similar situations. So yeah, that was fun. Oh,
As soon as we get to the
ignore the
first
giant
spire,
floater that
we're
doesn't
changing
exist.
position.
All right, so you guys, so you want to get up here too. So this isn't a spire. This is a rock face that you cannot, like, this is like a taller spire. The thing you can stand on here is petrified struts coming out of the rock in a descending sort of like twist around to the lowest point, where you will walk a single plank over to the first spire top.
Amazing.
How wide is this
Starting
second
to have
plank?
second thoughts about this route.
I'm gonna skin whoever designed this place.
5 feet wide. 5 foot wide is the general width going forward, so a 1 by 1 position.
I gesture to Lauren when Viv says that and says, "Well, if it was her, she's done the job for you."
Uh-huh.
Speaking
My-
of,
My apologies,
Lauren, you're up front.
I thought I taught her better.
All right, so Lauren,
I'll always be crass.
Lauren, would you proceed to hoppity hop past people?
No, not after what just happened.
All right.
Just swing out around us.
I would.
Huh? 3 people were talking at the same time. I
Sorry.
didn't hear that.
Pat,
I'll let
So-
Viv speak.
Oh, I was going to say, just swing out around the side of us, and we'll hold you over the abyss and make sure you don't fall.
Oh yeah, sounds great. Okay. I do that. I just like.
Well, you can't be the front or the back of the train at this point because your climbing gear's busted.
Well, I think I can only be the front or the back, or no, because it can connect to people on either side of me, right?
You have to be the
Yeah.
middle.
Oh, okay, okay. So you just kind of like swap places with Viv or something?
I'm willing to swap places with you.
Okay.
Okay, so 2 people are gonna have to be passed on a single plank by a woman with spikes, which means you're going to declip. Those of you who still have them, declip from the cable to affect this
No,
maneuver.
I think we should wait until we're here. How about we just get here and then we change
Yeah, I mean that was what I was
orientation
proposing.
here.
Okay. So you get to some like 5-foot wide wooden strut ass standings, and then you make that procedure. Pass and
Well, at
Lauren.
least it's multiple 5-foot wide.
Pass and Lauren both give me a Dex exert.
Okay.
Viv, hope this goes well.
Okay. It will
Viv
not.
hopes this works.
Uh-oh.
Lauren, this was an easy enough test, but you do kick something off into the abyss and some dirt, and you almost fall. But you know, you live. You're
The
all.
dice are not with me
moment.
today.
You're back in your
Cal
positions.
sing with her arms. Take 1 damage.
Yeah. Okay. So, this is what you see up ahead. You've got to descend a little and then cross the 45-foot beam over there. And to clarify, these do you have like a raised up 1Z level like tip? These things do, and these little like wooden things are ramps up and down from the tip. So you'll see this plank comes to the top of the tip. You go down to the edge. You go down to the edge. You come up. You go down, etc., etc. And there's another cable over from there. And Jorvik is like do 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 do. And yeah, I think the party advances in this fashion, correct?
Yeah.
I
All
would
right.
say so.
Yeah.
Renrick, give me a whiz survival to give me your camp counselor's pat. There is a side stand you can use here to affect changes.
So with survival,
Correct. Okay, and I'll let anyone control Jorvik. All right. It's decent. You guys make it across. It takes you a time. While Jorvik is leading you across, I'd like to ask everybody something. Are you guys sort of like trying to like focus on not looking around, particularly down, or are you gonna, take a look around, look around?
Lauren would like to view and look around, but not enough so that it compromises her footing.
So,
At the end.
but you're willing to look down at this time.
Yep.
Okay.
He's not afraid of heights.
Okay. The group is, you're coming across on the beam. You're still connected to each other for this part, right? Or have you unlinked the chain?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're still
Like
walking.
Cass is staring straight at the center of mass of whomever is in front of her.
Okay. And only Lauren is looking around. Is that correct?
Yes.
yeah, Renrick is totally focused on
All right. So
keeping
Lauren,
balance.
first, give me a whiz notice test.
Okay. And I get the 2 modifier from my my
Correct. As your
fleshy bits.
as your eyes retract like a microscope, circles within circles, you see what appear to be 2 flocks, or perhaps a dancing school of these creatures. And it looks like they've split, but they're racing to meet each other near the spire top you're going towards. That knowledge and the twirling, twisting nature of the Gaseous Gorge as you try and have your elven eyes stare deeper and deeper, the flesh within them, the nature of your viscous spheres, uncurling and unfurling. Roll me a mental save. You feel
Oh my God.
entranced by the unfathomable depths below. Anyway, Lauren, you've heard that. Do you want to share that information with the party? It looks like there's about 10 of them overall.
Okay, and they're not directly heading towards us right now, right? They're heading towards the spire.
They are directly heading towards a point 25 feet away from you that you're headed
Right.
towards.
But we're like, they aren't going to knock us off immediately. So if we beat them there, maybe we can prepare. So I gently inform Renerick that we might want to move a little bit faster and get across.
Renerick doesn't want to move faster.
To move
why?
faster? Oh, yeah, you ask why. You ask why.
Yeah.
Okay. There are some funny dinosaur fellas that are swarming towards where we're going, and I'd like to beat them there if possible.
Oh, that would make Renerick look.
All right.
No, you're in the front of the line. No.
Renrick, make a whiz notice as you look
We're
down.
all going to jail.
Jail.
Grounded.
No, it's not
Oh
the
God,
ground.
no, I'm
There's
going to
water
be
at the
in your
bottom of the
position.
gorge. Okay, yeah, Renrick, you see the first flight of 5 coming up, gaining altitude rapidly. That's what you see. You see 5 of them coming in from the west. Roll me a mental save as you look down.
Am I ruining this game?
No,
You're making it more
doing
exciting.
fine.
Let's
Yes.
go.
Oh, my saves have been so good.
Renrick, you
God,
know there's beauty in
God.
stone because you're it, baby. And yeah, you don't give a fuck about no winding
Stalwart as
depths.
fuck.
You're good. You're stalwart. You hold fast. But yeah, you do see there are ×5 creatures flying in from the west.
Hell yeah. Okay. So at that point, I would agree. Okay, we want to get off of this flimsy beam.
Okay. Here's
As
how
soon
this
as we
is going
can.
to work.
So
Here's how this is going to work. There are 2 choices. One choice is everybody makes a strength exert and hopes that you don't fuck up. There is another choice. If someone can make me a charisma lead test to unify the movement.
I can do that.
It's mommy moment. Shepherd the children
Yes.
in a single file line.
Yes, where I am the mother duck is in the middle, but we'll make do. I am at a +1 lead, so
Let's fucking throw those dice. Throw those dice, queen.
charisma lead or a
It's a charisma lead,
right?
Charisma lead.
She leads
Yes.
from behind, everybody.
It's decent.
Oh my!
Can I give
Can
her
I
a
do it?
modifier of 1 on this?
No, it.
hmm?
No.
Either of those was a 1. I could have re-rolled some bits.
So,
apparently.
Pat, what your charisma modifier is positive, right?
My charisma modifier is actually a positive, I think.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it is.
If you keep time, like step, you can assist Vivian's direction of the group for a +1 modifier.
Yes.
Viv, you scored.
I also add. You heard the lady.
All right, so you get dead
Very
in the middle of the
helpful.
pack. I have a very important question for you, Renrick. Would you unbuckle from the? Would people start unbuckling the moment they step out onto this tip?
Renerick
Pretty
would not.
much.
I would wait for everyone to get off before I unbuckled.
I
so-
feel like
but
I'm a
almost at
liability
the end.
buckled to everyone else, considering
okay,
how
well, so Renrick, you have your thoughts and
Don't
feelings.
unbuckle.
All right, Ren, step 5 feet. Ren, step 5 feet from this point because the next person has to come in, right? Or you could fall down if you want to risk crossing the Z level and seeing what happens with that traversal, baby. By the way, the axe raptors are swooping in now in formation towards you. Thank you so much for finishing that art pack. And so Viv steps here. Viv immediately unhooks herself from both other people. Viv, are you trying to hop down?
Nope, I'm just getting out of the way.
Okay. And
Wait, you unhooked yourself?
so Lauren.
After everyone was on the spire, I unhooked myself.
Okay,
Jorvik is doing.
Oh,
So
whatever.
here's how this ends.
Jorvik
Here's how this
descends
ends.
to be in the way.
Here's how this ends, okay? You arrive, Viv. You did a decent job, but you didn't do a great job. Cass is still on the beam. You are still hooked to her. Lauren has chosen to unhook. No, you're there. No, You're on
Sorry.
you're on the bit of beam. You are where I put you. You're on the bit of beam that's above. So if you fell, Pat, you'd hit 5 feet below. You're not in fall into abyss territory, maybe.
Good.
But the axe raptors are swooping in upon you, and at this point, with Cass, so Lauren is unhooked. So the only connection left is Cass and Viv. So with Cass and Viv still hooked to one another, everybody rolls initiative.
Boy.
Oh boy.
Man.
Here we go.
Cass is the worst at initiative ever. She will never go first. Mark my words.
Solid 7 every time.
Where is it?
Ah.
That's an 8.
All right, and we're going to see, I'm going to have a flight of Axe Raptors operate off the same initiative so that we don't, take too much time.
Also, a quick time check.
We are playing till 9:25 to make up for lost time at the beginning.
Gotcha.
Wait, is that good? Is that good? To clarify, if anybody has to go, that's cool.
I'm good for a little bit longer.
Okay.
I'm good for
I'm
longer.
good for 3 more minutes.
Okay, so we're cutting it. We're cutting it in like 3 minutes. Okay, we might get a round of combat. The important thing is initiative sorted. Renric Carver, you are unhooked. You got 5 coming in from the west. What do you do?
Do I even have any ranged weapons? I do not. Actually, that's not entirely true. I did bring the fuel cell flamethrower from last adventure.
Oh my god.
You did. Have you attached the nozzle on the other guys to make it a ranged one?
Yes, I would have.
Okay, right now they're
I
out
would've
of
tinkered with
range,
it.
but you could ready up to spray them. Do you want to?
I do that, and I take a step over to be toward them, and yeah, ready the flamethrower.
All right, clock yourself.
Amazing.
Put a little clock on Viv. It is your turn.
Well, I have I didn't ready the spell this morning, which sucks, but I could have hypothetically put them all to sleep midair.
Oh,
Well-
that would be devastating.
Oh,
I'm gonna
wow.
hold
I love
off
how
doing
you did
anything
this.
until any of them get a bit closer. I'm gonna hold a let's say a ineluctable something shackles
All right. Put a clock on
until
yourself.
they get close enough.
Okay, here's what happens. They swoop in upon you, and their maws look like they're almost like paste green blue, and like bits of just cracked tiny chitin in their little terrible axe raptor mouths. They're swooping in. Renric, 2 of them come into a perfect arc to be hit by your flame spout. You pop the shot. And whoosh, as you welcome them to the jungle with fun and games, they both make evasion saves. And they both die screaming terribly as they fall into the void like broken paper mache animals. And the other axe raptors are giving a slightly wider berth. One of them attempts to attack Jorvik. How does that go?
That's fine. They attack Jorvik.
Does he have like an AC and HP and shit?
He does have an AC. He does not have any HP. I'm getting you the AC as we speak.
Sure.
Um,
Axe raptors are not
an
great
AC
hitting
of
things.
10. An AC of 10.
Oh,
They
wow.
rolled a 9. Jorvik gives them just a winning smile. 2 of the axe raptors close upon Cass.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
Can Jorvik doesn't have a turn. I didn't think to ready his action with mine because I assumed he would have a turn. Can he try and take a swing at that axe raptor that just passed them?
Sure. The actual,
Alright.
I mean, so the axe raptors that are attacking Cass aren't going to come in range, but the one attacking him, yeah.
Yes. I just
Sure.
hit the one that was
Swing
going
on
for
him.
him.
Swing on him.
My caster's hit bonus of 1. Incredible.
Amazing.
So,
Yeah.
what, 1d20 plus 1? Okay.
All right, so Yorick ready to swing on him.
20.
Holy shit!
Wow.
The axe raptor,
Beautiful.
and it immediately faints, bashing its skull against the rock and falling, bleeding and sure to die into the gorgeous, gaseous gorge below.
So you don't mess with ghosts.
And one axe raptor tries to take a bite out of Cass and succeeds.
Yeah, it succeeds.
You take 4 damage,
I feel like
Cass.
I should start damaging people after this level of stress, though.
Yeah, so you
Or like next level of stress.
yeah, so you take 4 damage, Cass. And then
Oh, yeah.
the other axe raptor uses Harry. When the adjacent friend hits the foe, make me an evasion save.
Oh. Alright.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
The axe raptor chooses 5 feet southeast. You are conjoined at the hip to Viv. You go. You fall off in the wrong direction as you twist from the hit and are harried and bit at. Viv is forced prone. You are falling, and you see down to the east 5 more axe raptors swooping up in close formation along the rock to flank you. As we cut for next time. Thank you all for coming out. This has been Diesel
my
Shots
God.
Fool's Moon sponsored game. Welcome to the Gorgeous Gaseous Gorge. That was our first episode of it. And yeah, lightning round. Liked, see more of 1 point. When you've made 1 point on the like, you have nothing left to say about that. You give 1 more to say what you'd like to see more of. That is the end of it. We are a bit over time to make up for the full 2 hours. Thank you, Malcolm, for the nice session comment. And with that said, starting this off on a strong note, Avi, hit me with it. The 1+, the 1++.
We are in a beautiful amount of danger right now. I have no idea how this is going to end, and I love it.
All right, beautiful amount of danger is the plus. What's the plus? What's the future hold? Or are you looking for the future to hold?
I'm looking forward to finding out more about this place. We've barely scratched the surface, so
Excellent. Fine. Now, you haven't even made it to Roost. You'll have a cool new town and culture to interact with. But yes, hello, my baby, hello, my darling, Goop.
Yes, I really enjoyed, once again, the peril and just how freaky it was. Thing I want to see more of is all the wacky creatures. They're really cool, really ingenious.
All right, so hold on. What was the plus?
I think plus is we're in a lot of peril. It's dangerous. I think Pat needs to go.
Oh, Pat, you need to go. Okay, Pat, hit me.
My girlfriend's outside, yeah. Sorry.
Bye, have fun.
Bye. Love you so much. So yeah, no, I like that you left me on a literal cliffhanger. And what I want to see more of is more of your ingenuitive world building, just like what Goop said, more or less. I have to go.
Yeah,
Bye.
peace.
Ruining your cams on my way up.
Hi.
All right, and now it is Ellie's turn. Ellie, hit me with it.
Hello. So my plus is I just really like the world building so far. This is my first time seeing it, and you have once again created an incredibly immersive and fleshed out environment to explore.
All right, what's the plus?
I'm very excited to grab an axe beak next time. I want to grab one out of the air.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
All right.
Face first into danger.
Yeah.
I love it.
Excellent. Thank you all for coming out. We are gonna pop a raid upon a personage. And let me think about. Fuck it. Praetor's Rejects. We're going to Praetor's Rejects. Ready up your Throggers, your Lee Sweats, and until next time, dreamers. Don't forget, Fool's Moon Entertainment sponsor this stream. Check them out! !Fool's Moon. All the links. Check the stream frame as well. Peace.
All the links.
Alright, we're popping the raid to Praetor's Rejects.
That was terrifying.
Yep. Woo!
Great.
We've made it so far.
That
Yeah,
was pretty
I have
great.
one spell left.
I'm hitting raid now.
And then I am out.
I'm hitting raid now, and then I'm gonna hit end stream.
I still have